right, everybody, welcome to our public sector user group meeting. I'm glad that you are all here. Please feel free to keep sharing your traditions in the chat. Pull up my notes here. We're going to be doing a deep dive on AI agents and Action Builder today. But before we get started, I've got some announcements here. Our next meeting will be scheduled for January 13th in 2026. How is it almost already 2026? At 1:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. The event's already live, so please go ahead and RSVP. This is our quarterly wisdom exchange where we get together and ask questions and help each other with the answers. A reminder also that Zendesk Relate is happening May 18th through the 20th in the lovely Denver, Colorado. Early bird pricing is still available, so don't miss out on the biggest Zendesk event of the year. If you have any questions or suggestions about this meeting, please feel free to email me directly at shara.resichan@tn.gov, and I'll put that in chat. So today we're going to have a demo of AI agents and an Action Builder deep dive. Please put your questions in the chat. If we miss yours, I'll send out a follow-up email with the answers as soon as I can. And now I'm going to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. H. Coy, who is a native of Worcester. Did I say that right? Worcester?
Worcester.
Maine? I always get my abbreviations wrong. Graduating from Massachusetts. See? I get Maine and Massachusetts mixed. Graduating from South High School with a full academic scholarship to any college in the country. Dr. Coy attended Northeastern University and graduated with a BS in criminal justice. She then attended Massachusetts School of Law, Andover, and attained her Juris Doctorate degree and served as a 303 Certified Assistant District Attorney for the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office. She's currently a Senior Solution Consultant for Zendesk. Her favorite holiday tradition is matching pajama night, where family wears their matching PJs, make hot cocoa, and watch a classic holiday movie. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Coy.
Thanks, Shara. And, sometimes those classics would be, a Christmas story. Like, you can't go wrong watching that every single year. All right. Well, thank you for you guys joining. I'm going to share my screen. And for the folks who probably seen me do these before, you're aware I'm Dr. Coy, and I've been here at Zendesk for about 4.5, almost 5 years now. So just bear with me as I share my screen here. And then let's see, I think this is how I'm going to do it, to share this. Okay. And Shara, can you just verify that you can see my
I can see
slides?
it. I can see it fine.
Okay, perfect. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to go into a deep dive of our AI agents, and we're going to do an HR use case. So when Shara and I were thinking about doing this and putting this on, we wanted to do something that could apply to most of you, if not all of you, and have some sort of context behind using an HR use case. We'll talk through our AI agent. I know some of you guys are really familiar, but we're going to kind of get into how it works and the technology behind it, and then go behind the scenes and really show you how this thing is set up. We'll dive into our action builder, our flow builder. We may run out of time, but no worries, because if we do, we will make sure that we reach out to all of you with another video or something that would really help to break it down. With the time that we have allotted here today, let's jump right in. Okay, so we're here today to talk a little bit about our Zendesk resolution platform. We are an AI omni-channel resolution platform, and it's really the core of the platform is our Zendesk AI. Our AI basically automates workflows, and we do that to ensure that every customer's issues is routed, prioritized, and resolved in the best and the fastest path. And whether the resolution comes from an AI agent or a human expertly guided by our AI, Our AI ensures a seamless, connected process that delivers results. And that's the point. So one of the things that we want to, always kind of start off with is our agentic AI. Our AI agents, powered by this idea of agentic AI, is autonomously resolves issues without any scripting or training. Okay, that's important to understand the technology behind what we're doing here. And basically, what this does is it adapts in real time. So while we're still following your business rules, your workflows, your protocols, your procedures, we fully integrate that into the Zendesk resolution platform. And basically, we will be able to use your systems for context and your knowledge base that you're utilizing for all of your articles and things like that, that your teams rely on every day to help feed the AI agent. This unique approach really makes Zendesk AI Agents the fastest growing product in our actual history here at Zendesk, and with proven success across industries. So we really have put a lot of resources into launching this and making our AI agents faster, smarter, and more flexible and equipped to handle your very simple inquiries that come in all the way to your very complex scenarios. All right, so scaling automation beyond answering FAQs has traditionally meant like investing significant time into a manual flow mapping and endless updates to your business procedures. And really what we're trying to do is evolve from that. So we're working towards eliminating what, major upgrades and AI agent builder, really saving your admins a lot of time and dealing with this. So we're wanting to deploy and scale our AI agents faster than, ever, basically using natural language. And so our AI agent builder is basically all you need to do is just describe your business procedure in like a natural language, like a prompt-based type of component. And the AI agent automatically will map out the best resolution path on its own. So you don't have to come up with this on your own to say, hey, if somebody's asking this question, here's how you answer. You can, just type in something like, somebody needs information on their benefits plan package. Then the AI agent builder will build that out for you. So there's no complex flow and no constant maintenance required here. So a little bit about the power behind what we're able to utilize with our AI agent is something that we call adaptive reasoning. Now, our AI agents understand, adjust, resolve issues dynamically. That's what we're looking for. And all the while by staying within your business procedures. So, however you are dealing internally with processes is what the AI is going to be using to help analyze each of these requests and basically determining what the best actions are going to be based on your instruction that you'll have for your protocol, your procedures. So, take for example, one of the powerful concepts behind our AI agents is that a customer could be asking two questions at once. Now, a flow-based bot may get stuck, or an AI generated, a Gen AI based bot, I should say, may give a partial answer. But our AI agents will basically understand both requests. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you guys so you can see the power behind it. It can ask for missing details. If needed, it can adapt in real time, take action, and resolve those issues that are coming in just by using the AI agent and allowing them to do using all of the procedures that we've talked about to answer questions and give, a resolution. All right. Our AI agent builder also allows for you to build an AI agent that has a certain personality or a certain tone of voice. This is generally used to elevate your conversations, right, to your brand and really customize that tone of voice to what makes sense for your business. I know I have colleagues that love to play around with this tone of voice where if you'll see on the screen here, you can actually create a custom tone of voice. And so if you wanted your AI agent to sound more like Taylor Swift, you can actually write that custom prompt in there for it to be very excited and exclamation point on everything. And that's, what you'll use. So it's a lot of flexibility there. We'll get into the back end of how all of that comes together. But I wanted to make sure that you had eyes on some of the power behind what makes this officially a grand component of our AI offering. All right, so let's kind of dive into how we're automating your customer experiences here. Now, a lot of you already know about our Copilot, but if you don't, I just wanted to just highlight basically our AI agents. We on the front end, we're working with our AI agents to actually resolve a lot of these issues. The co-pilot behind it, and that's just a naming convention where it's just something that we call our AI agent on the agent workspace co-pilot. And basically it allows for you to have 3 times more the productivity as an actual person. So you're going to use the AI agents um, if it can't resolve and it needs to get handed over to a human, the co-pilot will then pick up and you'll be able to utilize a lot of the tools that the AI will have to offer as you are an agent getting this handoff. But a couple of things about this. Now, when you're using the AI agent, it is expanding on your knowledge sources. So whatever you guys create for your articles and you're building out your knowledge base, the AI agent is going to use that. We also have the ability to actually reach out to other systems, right? That will feed the AI with answers. So we're not going out to the World Wide Web trying to find answers, right? Because a lot of that is wrong and it doesn't pertain to you. So we're only reaching within the context of what you provide us, whether it's your knowledge base and your articles, or whether it's a system that you have us go and web crawl and get that information. So if you are using a SharePoint, a Confluence page, your website, we can use that to inform the AI to give answers and resolve issues very quickly. The instructions, of course, is also part of this where we can use the instructions to allow for our auto assistant, our co-pilot, but those instructions also help with the AI agent to put together answers for inquiries that are coming in. All right, let's talk a little bit about our action builder, and then we're going to get right into the demonstration here. Now, one thing about action builder, like what is it? Okay. So Action Builder is Zendesk's new visual orchestration tool that lets you design, automate, connect workflows across Zendesk and external systems without writing code. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I get hives just thinking about code and looking at code because I don't want to mess anything up. But think of this as a central automation engine for the entire Zendesk platform. So it's where you define reusable modular actions that your AI agent, your bots, your macros, your routing and workflows can execute. So your action builder can actually orchestrate multi-step logic visually. As you see on your screen here, you can create these actual flows. The call, you can call external systems, so you can do API calls based on custom actions, branch logic. You can reuse flows across teams, channels, and AI agents. So it actually replaces like that old one-off automation model with a more central, unified, scalable automation framework. So just to kind of give you a little bit of context behind our action builder. All right. Now, action flows. Now, what are those? So action flows are the actual workflows that you'll build inside of the action builder. Okay, so this goes like right along the side of this. It's a flow that's like a sequence set of steps. Okay, and basically your automations will run when that gets triggered. So think of a flow as like a mini application that takes inputs, makes decisions, makes API calls, produces outputs, and is usable by any Zendesk tool or AI agent. So we'll go in on the back and we'll show you kind of what that looks like and how to, manage that. But as we go forth, let's dive into what we're going to see. Now, I like to use Holly Banks. It's actually Holly Berry for the solution journey that we're going to go on so I can show off our AI agents and how it works. So you're in the scenario. I've got Holly. She just had a new baby and she got married. She needs to make changes to her benefits plan. She's got a lot going on. She's also wants to inquire about her remaining PTO days. And one last thing, she also is buying a new home, right? She's got a lot going on. So she needs HR to provide an employment verification letter. Now, all of these things can be happening with an internal employee who wants to, add somebody to the insurance and things like that. So you don't necessarily need a human being to do this. The AI can pull information off of what you guys already have to help give answers to Holly in this scenario. So there are a lot of steps here that Holly can actually go through. If just follow me up here where she just had a baby, we can hand this question off to the AI agent. The AI agent can give information and to answer those inquiries that are coming in, but also have a smooth, seamless handoff over to an actual person. And that would be me in this flow. And we can start to process this qualifying event and then come to a resolution if the AI agent can't do it. And then also, there is an email that you can send, right? So if Holly needs a verification letter, she sends an email over to HR. All of that can be generated through our AI agent, or you can just go right to our email and send it off. And it'll follow a very similar flow, and then which would then prompt our co-pilot to then take over and help the agent answer questions based on your website, your external system, or your FAQs from your knowledge base. All right. So I'm going to go over to my help desk. Let me just change my screen here for a second. So for you guys that are familiar, you'll recognize this as a help center where people can go to look up articles, to get answers. But we have Holly here, and what she's going to do is she's going to interact with our AI agent. One thing to note about our AI agent is that this can sit on your website. It can sit on whatever page that you want in terms of helping people get to this. So we'll open this up. First thing that I want you guys to notice is I've named my AI agent Coco. This is the name of my cat I used to have. And so what's interesting about this is that you'll notice, hello, how can I help you today? Some of those old bots would have like options, right? You talk to a human, HR, IT, facilities, maintenance, you would be able to pick the option and then go down a tree. This is a little bit more flexible where you don't necessarily need to do that because it's going to pull information and you don't have to necessarily guide the conversation, if you will. So we know Holly just had a baby. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage with this AI agent and let it know what's happening in our life. So Holly will say, I just had a baby and need to update my benefits. So what our AI agent is going to do is that it's reaching out to its policies, protocols, whatever you guys have, made available for it to give an answer. But also it's also giving, a really good tone here, right? Congrats on your new arrival. Let me quickly find out how you can update your benefits. So it does give information on how to update benefits. Now, normally you could have, you probably would have like an article pop up and then, Holly could go and open the article. But this goes a step further and pulls the information off the article so that she doesn't have to, go through the entire thing. And it gives steps on what to do. If you wanted to have your Workday HR system or whatever external system integrate with this, we could actually pull that information out of Workday and allow for Holly to do this right then and there. But she's just looking for information on how to update the benefit because of the new baby. And here we have it. So we're going to just add another thing and say, you know what? Oh, and I just got married. How do I add my husband? Okay. So this is a whole nother thing, right? Having a baby is one thing, with getting married is another. It's going to ask for a couple of different things. says great question, exclamation point. So it's going in and it's looking for that information. Now you'll notice here, congrats on your marriage, and to add your husband, here's what you got to do. It's given those instructions. Now, what's really nice about this is that if it's going to make an API call, I've set this up to just, again, switch subjects completely. And I want to know now about my PTO days. Okay, so a lot going on. Just had a baby. I'm probably out. I just got married. I want to see how much time I got left so I can go, be with my new family. So I'll say, how many PTO days do I have? Now you notice this is switching subjects. Now an old bot would get lost, right? It wouldn't understand. It'd say, hey, rephrase the question, because it wasn't set up to be able to take this talk track or take this workflow and go down the line. This allows for it to go search the website, search whatever API call, and boom, I've got an answer. Hey, you've used 10 PTO days so far, and you still have 12 days left to enjoy. Does this info look good to you? This is where we can get a clean handoff with our AI agent. If this doesn't look right and I need to talk to somebody, you're not necessarily stuck with having to deal with an AI agent. So this is a beautiful thing to get over to that agent workspace and get somebody working on this right away. I can say, yes, looks good. But how do I request PTO? So again, I'm asking, another question here, just looking for some help and being able to resolve this out. So what it's doing is taking some time, going through, hey, requesting PTO is a breeze, exclamation point. This is great. So it just tells us how to go into our workday and get this going. Is there anything else I can help you with today? And if not, we can end this and we're all set with our AI agent has resolved this issue for us and it never touched the hands of an actual human, or we can actually ask for the handoff and get over to an agent. All right. So I want to show you some of the magic behind what I'm just demonstrated for you today. Now, let's see, this is going to be another trick here to switch my screen. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to see if you guys can see this. Can you all see my AI agent screen? Shara, can you
Yes, I can.
All right, so you see my personalization here. So what we're looking at is the back end of our AI agent. So if you recall me saying and talking to you all about, the personalization, the tone of voice, being able to instruct our AI to give it some context, this is where all of that happens. So on the back end, where we can see our identity, you notice that I've named my agent Coco. I've just put in here some context for my AI agent to be able to identify and not go too far all over the place. So I've, created a company name, Anytown HR, and what my Anytown Human Resources Department does. This will allow for my AI agent to then be branded appropriately and be able to stay within that context. We also have the ability to do the tone of voice. This is where you'll get to, create an actual custom tone of voice if you'd like. The branding on which your customers and your employees would like to, engage in. This is what improves the customer experience for us. So while we are, can be professional in our mannerism for the AI agent, we can do that, or we can be enthusiastic. As you see, that's what I've put here as an approach. That's why you've seen a lot of the exclamation points and hey, congratulations, things like that. Here's down here is here where we can create a custom tone. It's just literally a prompt that you'll write in here. And you can see here for a description, just as an example, you want a polite, approachable tone throughout the conversation. I've played around with this a lot, and I've put in here, hey, sound like Trump, you can sound like Taylor Swift, you can sound like Bill Belichick, whatever it is that you guys want to be able to do, it gives you that flexibility. We also have the answer length. So if you want a short and sweet answers for your people who are engaging with the AI agent, you can do that. If you want it to make, be very long and full of information, you can actually do that. Best practice, keep it short and sweet. All right. We also have the ability to do formal pronouns and things like that. So our pronoun formality involves using these different pronouns to convey the respect and formality and using different languages and things of that nature. You want to be able to do that to be inclusive within, your organization as well. We also can do instructions. Again, I talked a little bit about instructions during the slide deck portion. And you can just basically customize your AI agent's responses beyond the tone of voice response length, beyond the pronoun formalities. You can ensure that the brand consistency is there to really help build customer trust. And that's why we do those instructions. I want to talk a little bit about the use cases. So this is where you can actually create a use case. Now, for example, my PTO days, I've created this use case so that if somebody ever asked about that, I could create the PTO day prompt. Now, I want to show you this. So if you notice here, I talked to you guys a little bit about being able to use prompt-based instructions here or procedures to be able to have the AI give you an entire procedure. You don't have to think about it on your own. So we can do dialogues here. We kind of navigated away from that because, it's a little easier to create a procedure in here behind PTO days. So, for example, you notice here, I've created, this is me, and I said, hey, create a procedure where an employee wants to know how many PTO days they have. And I just did this for demonstration purposes so that it could pull out that answer. But the truth of the matter is you can't create an API call that will go out to a system, pull that information back, and give the right information. And you can have several versions of this. So if I wanted to update this version, I could add a prompt in here to add to what's going on in this actual procedure here on PTO days, and it'll give me a version 2, and then you can continue on. Let me just get in here so you can see this. So here's the start. We can, collect information on the PTO days used, PTO days remaining. This is something that the AI was able to do for me. We can check conditions. We can create scenarios. We can escalate this conversation. We can have articles pop. We can have API calls sent and received. And we can have, share a knowledge answer from a particular FAQ on how to. So this is a very easy way to utilize, certain scenarios or use cases that you can think of to have the AI do it, and then the AI agent pick it up and start to have the conversation in a very light and polite tone or enthusiastic tone. All right. I want to show you one more thing here, which is our knowledge. This is where I was talking to you guys about being able to use your website, your Confluence page, your SharePoint, wherever you're keeping your information that's within your context. This is how we'll go and pull that information into our system for the AI agent to use. Now, if we want to add a source here, this is basically what we're doing. We're just going in and we're going to identify where that information is going to come from. We can web crawl with the URL. We can go into your Confluence page. These are just a couple of ones that we have here. There are several more that's coming out during our roadmap. You'll see a lot of updates happening in Q1 2026 on the different ways in which we can pull data. I'll give you a quick example here. If I wanted to web crawl your actual website that holds a lot of this information, say that you got a fantastic website and all the information is right and you're not like working on updating it, because you guys can do that, right? You can work on updating it, but we can pull that information, we can name it, and this will crawl the exact URL that you want. You can have as many as you'd like. You just need to put those URLs and you separate them with a comma. We'll actually be able to do this on a daily, on a weekly, or we'll just open it up, right? So this is a very easy way to pull in information for that AI agent to use. All right. Okay. Take a breath here for a second. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our action flows and our action builder and kind of getting into the back end of what that looks like. But before we go, is there any questions, Shara, that might have popped up that we could very quickly tackle before we head over to the action builder stuff?
Not currently, but I do have one.
Sure.
On the web crawler for the AI agent, do you need a sitemap in order to set up the web crawler?
A site map.
Mm-hmm. Because I know that might be a little bit too technical of a question, but there's when you try to set it up in just Zendesk, it gives you have to have a sitemap. You have to provide the sitemap location for the web crawler. For this one, do you just put in the website?
Yep, you just put in the website and it will automatically, go in there and crawl. So you don't necessarily need to that, but I'm just very quickly looking to see if there is any information on a sitemap, just so that we can provide our audience with the latest and greatest.
One question, which might be a little bit easier.
Sure, no problem.
Is it
We'll get that answer
required?
in 2 seconds.
Is it required to have procedures configured in Zendesk for the AI agent to work?
So, I don't think it's required, because you can still, set up like those use cases and use those as a procedure. I technically, as a best practice, like to set up instructions, and that's probably a really good place to actually navigate to, as I'm thinking about that. So let me just show you guys what our person in our audience is talking to. And this is really about, let's see. Okay. I like to go into our, help center here. And, this is where you can actually go in and create instructions. I want to show you a little bit about what that looks like. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. So if you all are, let's see, procedures here. I've created a few procedures in here, and this also does help to give a source behind our AI agent and the co-pilot. So when you write out some of these steps in resolving common inquiries, this really helps to generate those best replies and things like that for our co-pilot. But I also notice that in here you can, and I'll just maybe pick one here. Let's see, what would be a good one? Oh, how to fix a printer jam. So this is one that I actually really like. So I can create this instruction here. And what I've done, just as I like to get creative and develop in my demo site, I'll actually use AI to help me figure out like how, some instructions on what to use to fix a printer, to change a password or something like that, if I can't think of it myself. And so I'll create this, and these steps will basically help generate those auto responses and the AI agent to be able to give instruction on what to do and how to do it. All right. Okay. So heading back on over to our AI agents here. So I kind of set on doing, so we talked about knowledge, we talked about our personalization, and we talked about our use cases and how to go in the back end and actually create a procedure for the AI agent to follow. Let's kind of get into our actions, our action builder, and our action flows. So a couple of things that I just want to make mention about how we're doing this, how we're using this. So this is where things get really exciting. So Zendesk AI isn't just about responding with knowledge articles. It can execute tasks. So our AI agents and Copilot can call an action flow to like pull records, to submit updates, to route cases, to schedule services, validate identity. Because, of course, that's one of the things that is really super important is and being able to validate people who are trying to access information, right? Hey, I need to unlock my account. Well, great. We need some, verifying information. So we can do that. We can provide personalized answers. And really, this is what makes Zendesk AI truly actionable. It doesn't just talk, it does things. And you can create the ability to put these things together for our AI to be able to work seamlessly. Now, for public sector and I say regulated customers, action flows, they deliver 5 major advantages. Normally we'll see like security and governance. So everything is authenticated, logged, and controlled in the admin center. That's where we are now. Compliance If you think about that, there's no external middleware, which means fewer vendors in your data path. It also is very fast. So you can build these integrations in hours, not weeks, not months. So a lot of organizations struggle with this a little bit. And then you can reuse the same logic across all channels and departments. And that's where you can really get the AI readiness to pull together. So when you're ready for AI agents, your flows power the execution layer here. And so just so you can see, we can configure this out and then we can test it. So to determine what you want to do, you can actually name your action here. You can put in a description and you can add inputs and outputs. Now, a lot of this stuff, if you want to do like an API call, you put in the API settings, which would then authenticate, and then you can request the method or the URL or the parameters in which you want to pull that information in. The action flows is just the second part of this where, I've, create, it's not active right now, but there's an action flow approved by, agents. And you can create this flow where you want, say you want an agent to approve, let's just think about this, approve like a request for PTO. And they can do that. So you can, create this and you start to add information in here. You can add triggers, you can add steps. So you can do branch logic like I talked about in that slide deck a little bit there and send outputs, and you can do custom code if you want. Like if we have HTML folks on the call, you'll be able to maneuver in here pretty nicely around creating custom code and starting to do a little bit more flexible offerings. But for people who are not, coders or developers or anything like that, you still can complete this without using it. So there are actions that you can, put together here. You can look up an actual ticket. You can put in a ticket ID number if that's what you want to do. And once you go through, you're just going to keep adding these steps. Now, I talked a little bit about those external actions, those API calls that we can make. This is some of the ones that are listed here already. I wanted to give you a sneak peek. So if you think about connecting like a Jira or a Microsoft calendar or something like that, we have the ability to do that and connect. So this is going to basically bring all of that together without necessarily having to go through the old steps of creating triggers and creating automations and then being able to try to pull information. The AI is going to help us bring that all together. Now, you guys will remember and know that in your agent workspace, you have your integrations page, right? So you have all your integrations. Let me go there just so you can see what I'm saying. Even if I kind of go into a particular ticket, you'll notice here we have our integrations where this will sit. And you'll have access to Jira, you'll have access to your Workday. Basically, we're eliminating the ability to even have to do this, where this will automatically be connected, and we're just doing it that way. Now, you guys would formally go to our marketplace, which is still available, and people still use it. But if we're actually creating our action builder, we can do this to add insight and actionable insights to the way that we're doing our business. All right. And then you can also do custom actions as well. So you can, in terms of like the deep dive today, because this is one of the things that I'd like to give you a sneak peek on, and then we can do an actual build out of this, because we were doing AI agents along with the action builder. We could only do like one or the other. That was a deep dive. But there's still a typical flow that we could essentially go through, where we can input, we can put steps in for branches, we could do outputs to return data to Zendesk. It's a visual drag and drop, basically, is what you're looking at. So as you guys are thinking about how to best utilize this in your organizations, we do have a lot of content out there about building this out and using use cases that would really work well for you all. In each one of your organizations and the things that you need to do. As we move forward and doing these user groups, Shara and I work really closely together to ensure that we can give you guys something that would help you start to build this stuff out and really think of the different ways in which you can best utilize this. It's going to help your agents, help your business, and help your end user get, the insights and the information that they need. All right, so I'm going to pause just for a second here to see if there are any questions that might have popped up. And Shara, we're still waiting on that site map on the Zendesk web crawl if we need that. So I may have something before the end of the call.
Okay. Can you share where to find the use cases for custom actions and action flows?
Use cases for custom actions. So where I am now is I am under apps and integrations. In the admin center. So once you click in here, you're going to scroll down, you're going to find your apps and integrations. And under actions is where you'll be able to find this.
Is it currently live or is it still in EAP?
This is live now. This should be live now.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So as we're, as you guys are thinking this through and really wanting to, contemplate how we're doing this, I do want to show you one thing that wasn't on the radar for today, but since we had a couple of minutes, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about our admin co-pilot. Let's see. Suggestions. Let's go in here. Where is it? Now, I was thinking what I wanted to kind of think about. Let's see. I did have it in here at some point. I have no idea where it went. Let's see if I can find it. So one of the things that we're able to do is with the admin co-pilot, we can actually utilize the AI to help us build out things within the system. And if I have it in my demo site, it'd be great to show. I can't seem to find it right now. Of course, that's how it always is. But as soon as I end the call, I'll find it. Let's go into AI. Here we go. Admin Copilot. So if you guys have access here in your admin center under AI, and if you go right under, our admin Copilot, we have what we call recommendations. And what this does is that it will come up with the things that might be beneficial for you all to change or to add. So for example, it will find some of these triggers and automations and things like that and make suggestions or recommendations. So you'll see here, review unused macro. One of the unused macros that I've had in my demo site is reset password. And you can help agents find the right macro. So here's where it will allow for you to, it'll give you some information on what to do. So you can simplify the setup, maintenance, and make recommendations that's more relevant. So this is telling you what you can do. So this macro reset password was never used in the last year. So what should we do? Should we review it, right? Or help me review? So what it's going to do is it's going to give me some actionable insights on what to do. So you think about all the things that it will go in here and find. You don't necessarily have to remember if you guys are super users of this solution. It will tell you, okay, look, here's what you can do, what to consider. Since this macro hasn't been used in a year, you have a few options. You want to delete it, you want to update it, or if you want to keep it. And I can say, let's update. So you're noticing here that it's going to go in here. Okay, well, let me fetch a current macro configuration so we can review it and make the update. All right, well, here's the current configuration of the reset password macro, and it's giving me all of the things that I would want to do. And it says, hey, let me know what changes you'd like to make, and I'll update the macro for you. This is like like where was this when we was really building out? Because I remember, a time in Zendesk where we had to do all of this manually as solution consultants. So
Out of curiosity, is that recommendations for the admin co-pilot, is that live yet?
this is live. I
Okay.
believe this is live. And if I'm not, forgive me, it is in our EAP. If you guys want to go and check it out, I believe you're able to do an EAP as well.
And I do have another question
You bet.
from the group. Are there instruction guides / resources to share following today's great demo for how we can set this up, including your best practice recommendations?
Yes, there is plenty of resources out there. And what we'll do, Shara, if we don't, if I'm not able to pull it up like right now, can we get that to the audience so that they have these resources? Because I can send them right to you.
I will send a follow-up email after the
Absolutely.
meeting, and we'll add any relevant links and whatever I can.
All right, perfect. That's great. Yeah, there's one of the things that even I like to access is a lot of our Zendesk help pages will give us instruction on how to's and step by step on how to build this out, best practices as well, and things to think about as you're going through and building it. Very helpful. So I'm curious to know from the audience, while we have a couple of minutes, what your thoughts are of what I've shown you today, and then anything on this admin co-pilot. Is this something that you think would be very helpful for you all, especially our super users who, have got a lot of information and insights out there on macros and um, triggers and automations and things like that that you don't necessarily pay attention to every day?
Honestly, I can't wait because as far as I can tell, we don't have that admin co-pilot yet.
Mhm.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that because that'll definitely help clean up our macros and stuff.
Yes, agreed. That's something that we really thought about holistically and how to make things just a little bit easier. So what I showed you guys today is the AI agents and the end user experience dealing with that AI agent. Going in the back end, understanding on how to create the AI agent to be able to give the end user that experience that they were looking for, that they needed, answer questions right away, pull information from other systems, and go into the back end and see how that actually gets done and the power and technology behind doing it that way. Also, just being able to touch a little bit on the action builder and the flow builder, and then even admin co-pilot. It's really interesting when you look at the end user experience, the actual agent experience, and then the administrator experience and dealing with the exact platform and really building it out to be a powerful tool to help increase the customer's experience and improve it.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions in the chat. But thank you, Dr. Coy, for this brilliant demo. It was very informative and really appreciate you being here with us again. Just a reminder again that the event is live for January for our Wisdom Exchange, where you come in as you want, leave when you want, but we're here to help answer your questions as best we can as other super users of Zendesk. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.